Well, hello and good day to you. I'm on the Montgomeryshire, Shropshire border and I'm at my parents' house, and I've just come down to the canal because here is a stretch of the Montgomeryshire Canal when it goes out of Wales and into England, and that is a canal bridge there. This is the old canal here, which is due to be renovated, and here we have some lime kilns because this area is full of limestone. All the hills have got limestone, built of limestone of course, and there used to be a tower. I think the chimney, you can just about see it above there. So whether this will be developed into some kind of tourist spot when they eventually reconstruct the canal here. We can see here's the old canal bridge, and I think this is canal bridge number 90, I think it is. So as you can see, we've got quite a lot of work to do there, but anyway, here as well you can see that the old canal has been there, so that'll be quite exciting. Bit of a before and afterwards. I'm going to go for a walk up the canal to see what's there, because I've not been that way back towards the Welsh border before, so we'll see what we see along the way. Well, off we go, see what we find. Here we are, the first bridge. See what we've got. Yes, bridge number 90. So if you want to look that up, bridge number 90 on the Montgomeryshire Canal. A water stop overflow. So this will all have to be done when they dredge this out. Oh, a couple of dogs coming past. Someone out for a morning run. Good man. Well, having walked probably only half a mile up the canal, I'm just about in line with where my parents' house is, a little bit higher up there, and here we can see a plaque that's been donated to the canal by Alan and Margaret Clegg. It's a lovely little plaque, Montgomery Canal, showing that going this way Newtown is 25 miles away, and then going that way Welsh Frankton is 10 miles that way. So now we've got a fair idea of where we are on the canal. Let's go a bit further. Just come a little bit further down the canal, and actually quite close to the road. It's the A483 up there. You can hear it. It's a very busy road. Anyway, the canal is quite serene. Boy, they've got some work to do. They have got some work to do to clear all this overgrown trees, and a lot of work. Still, good fun. Wouldn't mind volunteering myself. If I'm around, I will. Well, coming a little bit further down the canal, I can actually see in the distance one of the main reasons that this canal was built, and it's because of that great big rock up there. It's called, well, we call it Llanymynech Hill, but there was a huge limestone quarry up there years ago, and they used to bring the limestone down to meet the canal a little bit further on down here. Looks like a nice gentle stream, doesn't it? May look a bit different next year, or perhaps the year after. I can't see them getting this work done in a year, no way. Anyway, there's a lot to do. I've still got a fair way to go to get down to Wales. Although Wales is just over there. That is the border. The top of that hill marks the border. We're in England at the moment, but we're making our way to Wales. Let's see how we get on. Ah, now this looks interesting. We're coming to what is obviously a railway crossing. See that embankment? That's the old railway line. And here, by the canal, is a old railway bridge, railway crossing. This looks interesting. Look at that. They obviously had kind of a double bridge. Nicely constructed walls, beautiful stonework. The old path. The stonework. Beautiful. Yeah, quite a construction. God, can you imagine in a day what that was like? Fantastic. Yeah, there's a fair flow of water here too. What's going on here then? Ah, there's water over there. There's a drainage point here. Must be an overflow or something. Must be an overflow for the canal. Well, that's all interesting stuff, isn't it? And here, there's actually water in the canal. Look. See, it's coming out there. Oh, wonderful. Oh, lovely. How lovely. There's actually water in the canal. Well, good Lord. I didn't know that. And then they've got an overflow point there. Stop it overflowing. Needs a cleaning out by the looks, but anyway. It'll go in there, run in there. And away it goes. And this goes up onto the old railway up here by the looks. Let's go and have a look. This is all good stuff. This railway, just look when this railway actually closed down. I know my parents used to come on this line to get into Oswestry. There we are. There's a plaque on here. Let's see what it says. Canals and railways. Lifeline for the limestone industry. Well, I'll have to screenshot that. Yeah. And there we go, a photo of the barge going under and a train going over. Wonderful. Well done. Good. Oh well, they may make something of this when they renovate. There's a nice walkway there too. Nice walkway. Let's see if I can come back that way. Anyway, let's go on down the canal. See what we see. Spotting with rain as well, but hey, we're getting close to Wales. What do you expect? Well, soon we will see the Montgomery Canal restored to all its glory. Look at that. Beautiful old tree. I think it's an oak. And the chimney behind it. Wonderful. And there we go up to Llanymynech. And that bridge you can see right in the distance, that is, as far as I can remember, the border. Because this is, I think, pretty sure we're coming up to Llanymynech Wharf. Anyway, we'll be there before too long. Well, every wharf, every port on the canal needs a turning spot, and that's what that is. Some interesting looking buildings up the far end there too, not quite sure what they're about. But anyway, you can see the canal here coming up to Llanymynech Wharf, and there's a turning point. The old barges are pretty long, so they would need all that space to turn round. They'd never turn round on the canal, that's for sure. I have a job to turn my boat round in this canal. We're stuck in the weeds. Anyway, just come into Llanymynech Wharf, and I had to show you this. You can see the boat, a little barge there, pleasure barge. But here, obviously a landing area, stonework, nice stonework there. There's an entry point over there, and just over there as well, looks like an oven, perhaps it could be an oven, parking place, I don't know. But obviously a lot used to go on here, and hopefully when they get the canal open, they'll renovate all that, make a nice visitor centre. That'd be great. Well, I think it'll be great. Anyway, it's a nice little pleasure barge. Take people for a little ride up and down the canal. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Look at that, you can come down to the wharf here now. Little centre there. Llanymynech Wharf Visitor Centre. There we are. Great picnic area. And now, if I remember correctly, and this is a low bridge. This is a low one. Number 92, there you go. 91 was the railway bridge. Cymlas Maldwyn, the Montgomery Canal in Welsh. Croeso i Gymru, welcome to Wales. So we're crossing now from England, halfway down this bridge, and we're now in Wales. So there we are. Well, doesn't look that much different, does it really? Probably did 2 years ago, but... And then on this side you see the Montgomery Canal, welcome to England. And in Welsh, Croeso i Loegr, welcome to England in Welsh. There you go. Another little turning point on this side of the wharf as well. And do you know what? I've never ever been here before. Isn't that amazing? I was born, what, 5-6 miles from here? Anyway. Oh, there's a little buffer there. So when you're turning here, if you run into that, you won't damage the boat, and more importantly, won't damage the embankment. Well, look at this. I wonder how much we got on the Welsh side then. Well, we'll go a bit further and we'll find out. Having the time of my life here. Oh, there's a pub. There's a pub. Now that's good, isn't it? If I remember, that's, you can see it from here. It's the Dolphin. The Dolphin in Llanymynech. And that's on the Welsh side. Those houses over there are in England. Great stuff. I don't know whether you can see over in the distance there, there's a duck. And that duck, I'll have you know, is a mallard. And if you're a Monty Python fan, you'll definitely have a smile on your face when you say the word mallard. It's a bleeding mallard, isn't it? Lovely. Hey, look at this. Canal looks a bit full here. It's actually overflowing. Wonderful stuff. It's a mallard. Doesn't this look wonderful? Nice houses here too. And those people have got a nice little water feature there. Look at that. Wonderful. Well, where are we then? Where in the world are we? Well, we're in Llanymynech on the Welsh-English border, and we're going down towards, are we going up? We're going up towards Welshpool and Newtown, and from here the canal will go, I should know this, I was born around here, we'll go from here towards Llansamfraid, at the bridge at Newbridge. I remember that lovely canal crossing there. I wonder if the water is in the canal there. That'd be nice. I don't think I'll go that far today. And then from there it'll go to Four Crosses. Four Crosses will go to Ardleen. Ardleen, Poolkey, is it? Yes, Poolkey. Poolkey, Welshpool. Welshpool, Berriew, Newtown. Wow. When it's all done, I'm going to bring my boat down here. I'm going to bring the boat down here. And we'll go up to Welshpool, where I was in school. Well, I think I'll stop here, because I'd like to go back to Llanymynech, make my way home. I'm only on foot, and it is raining a little bit, as you can probably see in the water. But I'd like to go and have a look at the chimney. I think there's a visitor centre there too. So we'll go and have a look at that and make our way back to my parents' house. Make our way back home to Pant. Making our way back to Llanymynech Wharf. And oh, look at this. Look here. Someone's left the gate open. This is a no-no. Shouldn't do this. There's kids playing there or something, I don't know. Anyway, always make sure the door is closed when you come on and come off the footpath. But anyway, so we're crossing back into England. This little thing is always quite interesting. Offa's Dyke Path passes by here. I don't know a lot about the Offa's Dyke, but I used to walk it a little bit. We can look that up. Okay, so here we go. Up onto the roadside. It's the 483. It's a busy road. Now you can see why I prefer life on the canals. Okay, I'm going to try and cross the road here. You take your life into your hands crossing this road, I tell you. Right, here we go, back into Wales. So that tractor's in Wales, that car's in England. Blimey. It's the village of Llanymynech on the Montgomery Canal. Really is a border village. And there's just one little extra thing I'd like to show you before I go from this village. Well, we come to the cross in Llanymynech, and it's quite an interesting place this too, because I'll tell you why. There's two pubs here. That one over there, that's the Dolphin, that's in Wales. Over here we have the Free House across Keys, and that's in England. Okay, now you can imagine what it's like on Internationals Day when England play Rugby Wales. They usually get on well, but on that particular day then it's a bit of a battle. Anyway, it's all good fun. I think I might use this to cross the road. Almanac shop used to be over there, I remember that. Good old, thank you. Well, you heard the bells, so yes, we've come to the church. This is the grand old church, Llanymynech Church, Saint Agatha's, I think. It's 1 o'clock. Kind of looks imposing, doesn't it? And that dark stonework. But anyway, we're here right on the border, and I mean right on the border, because here, standing here, I think I can probably say at this point, it's not actually marked, but at this point I've probably got 1 foot in England and 1 foot in Wales, and that there is the gable end of a hotel called the Lion. Anybody that lives around here will know the Lion. It's been closed for as long as I can remember, probably the best part of 20 years, which is a shame. But this pub was built on the old borderline, and just here on this gable end, got a bar over there. That window there was in Wales, and that bar over there was in England. So on Sunday, when England had different opening times to Wales, then you had to shift across into England to have a pint. Those were the days. And the border comes from there, cuts into here. The church is in England, and then about that tree there is probably the border, and it cuts across the road like that, and then comes back and follows the river Vyrnwy, which is just over there. And there we are. If you've heard of Vyrnwy Lake, Lake Vyrnwy, or Vyrnwy Lake, well, this is the river, comes through here, and from here down to Crew Green, I think it is, the border between England and Wales is formed. So there we are, the old Lion Hotel. In Llanymynech. Is the Bradford Arms Hotel and Restaurant. Nice eating in the Bradford. Very good. Very good. So let's take up. That's my brother over there in that pickup. He didn't see me. Say, I'm close to home. You see me, brother? Let's go a little bit further into England. Let's go a little bit further into England, because just up here there's something that you should see, you should do when you're in Llanymynech. Now, this little place hasn't been open that long, but it's a little chip shop built in the loo. That used to be Llanymynech public toilets, but now it's a chip shop, and it's a very, very good chip shop too. So when you come to Llanymynech, check out the opening times. They're not open all the time, but when they are open, they do some great fish and chips. Llanymynech's quite well served, actually. Yeah, no problem with that. Got the pub here, across Quays. Got the Dolphin over there. There's a very good Indian restaurant just over there by the village shop. Crossing over here, got Sam's Kebabs over there. Nothing wrong with them. There's a good kebab. And here we've got a very, very good Chinese takeaway. So we're quite well served in Llanymynech. We used to come up here for chips. That used to be a chip shop over there. But when I was going to the pub in Four Crosses with my friends over there, Four Crosses Youth Club and the Young Farmers, we used to rip up here, get some chips. Those were the days when you could risk driving a bit. Wouldn't do it now. Unless you got someone to drive, of course. Anyway, bleeding raining. Let's get back into England. There's the canal. Oh, it's even raining in England. Well, I suppose. See what that says? A Trallwng. That's Welsh pool in Welsh. Here we are. Llanymynech Heritage Sculpture. Oh, that's that thing. Right, okay. It's got everything in it. The church, the owl, the shells, the narrowboats, the kilns, the metalwork, a Roman soldier. Well, there you go. There's quite a bit to see when you come down here. But I'm going to walk up there now. I'm going to film it all. Don't want to see me out of breath all the time. So yes, we've come to the Llanymynech Limeworks Heritage Area. Okay, this is good. Witnessing the past. And here's this is the quarry that I was showing you earlier on. See that? The rocks, and this is where they quarried out the stone, and then they would bring the stone on little carts down here to a point, and then they had a how do you say that, a railway that went down the hill. And here's the wharf and the canal coming back up towards my parents' house, which is, yeah, a bit further up. This is Llanymynech, of course, and then the border comes up here and comes up here, I think. I might follow that and come up onto the hill, and then it follows the hill. So everything on this side is in England, and the hill on the other side is mostly in Wales. Anyway, let's go a bit further up here, see what we see. I'm going to walk down this path. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to get off that road. We'll walk down here. Might meet up with the canal again before too long. It's quite nice though. Nice little walk, even though it's drizzling. You kind of get used to that in these parts. Anyway, it's only April after all. April showers. Because this is, I think, yeah, this is the building we were looking at before. From the turning point. Where was that then? Was that the turning point I was just looking at there? No, I think it's here. This must be the turning point, is it? Yeah. That's the turning point on the canal. And that's the building we were going to have a look what that's all about then. Yeah, this is part of the old. Oh yeah, alright. Railway lines. Look at that. Old railway lines leading up there. Of course there's the chimney. Good Lord. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. Alright, go a bit further. Well, it's all fascinating stuff around here. There's all bits of railway lines they've left to show what went on. And look at this monstrosity. Whatever is that? Blimey, what a construction. I can't film it all, there's too much. You'll have to come and see it yourself. Besides, the film would be 2 hours long if I tried to get it all in. Anyway. Well, I'm standing at the entrance to the lime kiln, and right in front of the chimney. And of course the smoke used to come out from the kiln there and would go up the chimney. It's raining, so we're going to go That's a long way up. Heavens above. This is the lime kiln. I'll just show you a bit of this. It's a massive structure. Massive structure. Protected now. Good. All protected now. Can't really film inside. It's too dark. I haven't got a flash. And I'm not going to spoil it for you. Come here on your own. Come here on your own and have a look. It's staggering. It's massive. Well, there we go. That's the lime kilns. I think they're called the Hoffman lime kilns at Clonmacnoise. Wonderful. And of course, once you get here, it's undercover. It's drizzling now, but we're dry here. There's another little railway. Look at that. Okay, that's that structure. I think that must be. Oh, I see. Yeah, there's a railway line up there. Well, there's lots to see. So call in when you're around, or come up on the boat. I've just come back down this path. There's the chimney up there, and I'm pretty sure now I'm coming up against the railway bridge that we saw walking down the canal. Yeah, now we can get right back onto the other side of the canal. Oops, this way. Otherwise, I don't think I'll get very far. I'd be on private property if I went up there very far. So we better go back over here. Yeah, here we are, back at that panel, and here you can get across the canal where they've dammed it off, and they've obviously restored the Clonmacnoise Wharf section, which is very nice. I suppose that's the Welsh side coming through as far as here. Great stuff. So there we are. Now it's drizzling quite heavy, so I'm going to make my way back to my parents' house. I've had a great time. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm getting a bit wet now. Anyway, just seen a jay up in there. Beautiful bird. There he is. There he is. Hello, matey. Probably got a nest up there somewhere. You don't usually hang around, do you? Leave him alone. Lovely bird. What a lovely bird. I'll be doing some more of these walks alongside canals, places of interest. If you've enjoyed it, then please give us a thumbs up. That helps the channel a lot. I'd like to grow the channel a bit more. So whilst back in the UK, I'll do a few more of these videos, and then look forward to doing a few more when we get back in to the south of France on the Canal du Midi. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.